You spend a fortune on fancy eye drops, but that heavy, gritty fatigue returns every evening. We blame age, but researchers studying dietary habits in the Mediterranean found a completely different reason. Their secret is one common orange root that supports natural eye hydration and skin elasticity. Carrots are packed with a brilliant orange protector that shields your cells from daily damage. But this protector strictly requires a fatty taxi to travel safely into your bloodstream. Without fat, it passes straight through you without doing a single bit of good. I'll show you the exact pairings you need to use today. At the end of the video, I'll show you a common mistake during preparation that destroys all its benefits and how to do it properly. Many people have a deeply ingrained daily habit of snacking on dry, raw carrot sticks. They genuinely believe they're doing the absolute best thing for their physical health and their waistline. They chew through massive plastic bags of them at their work desks, or they crunch on them in front of the television in the evening. They expect to be rewarded with better vision, clearer skin, and boundless daily energy. We were taught for decades that eating plain, raw vegetables is the ultimate pinnacle of healthy living, but the human digestive system is not a mechanical woodchipper. It operates on highly specific biological rules. Raw carrots have incredibly tough, rigid plant walls that fiercely protect their core nutrients. When eaten cold and completely bare, your stomach severely struggles to break these walls down fast enough to extract the good stuff. The vital nutrients stay firmly trapped inside that tough, fibrous safe. They travel right through your entire digestive tract and exit the body completely unused. You are doing all the incredibly hard work of eating right, chewing through endless plain vegetables, and turning down sweet treats, but you are getting absolutely zero reward for your massive effort. This is why so many people eat a perfectly clean diet, but still wake up feeling utterly exhausted, with dry, flaky skin and heavy eyes. They're eating the right foods, but their body is entirely unable to absorb the value from them. To truly understand why this frustrating process happens, you need to listen to the body's natural internal language. The powerful orange protector hidden deep inside the carrot behaves exactly like a thick, heavy oil. Meanwhile, your stomach and your entire digestive tract operate as a highly efficient, fast-moving, water-based environment. Think of it like a rushing river. The digestive juices, the stomach acids, and the enzymes are all entirely water-soluble.
As we all know from basic cooking in our own kitchens, oil and water simply do not mix under any circumstances. They actively repel each other. When that oily orange protector enters the watery environment of your stomach, it faces a massive physical barrier. To move this precious orange protector out of your watery stomach, across the delicate gut wall, and safely into your bloodstream, your body desperately needs a reliable vehicle. Fat acts as this vital fatty taxi. When you consume fat alongside the vegetable, it triggers a brilliant natural mechanism. Your body releases natural digestive soaps that bind the fat directly to the orange protector. It safely carries it through the delicate inner lining of the gut. Once through the wall, this fatty taxi delivers the nutrients directly to the organs that need them the absolute most, like your eyes, your skin, your joints, and your brain. Without that fatty taxi waiting at the station, the orange protector just floats aimlessly on the surface of your stomach fluids. It remains entirely ignored by the body until it gets flushed away a few hours later. This brings us to a critical detail that most people completely overlook due to outdated dietary advice. For decades, we were strictly told to fear healthy fats. We were told to eat dry salads, plain steamed vegetables, and fat-free yogurts. We need to drop that damaging mindset today. Fat is not a guilty pleasure, and it is not the enemy of your waistline. It is your body's absolute best friend and the ultimate biological key to unlocking plant nutrients. We are talking about real, robust, natural fats that human beings have eaten for centuries. Adding just a small amount of these natural fats does not just mildly improve the vegetable, it increases the absorption of that orange protector by over 1,000%. You turn a stubborn, locked-up, useless raw vegetable into a highly bioactive superfood just by adding a single spoonful of rich fat.
When we talk about choosing the right fatty taxi, you must be highly specific about what you allow into your kitchen. We are absolutely not talking about highly processed seed oils, cheap margarines, or artificial cooking sprays. Those industrial products cause massive internal friction and actually damage your delicate internal systems over time. You need fats that come straight from nature, completely unrefined and untouched by factory chemicals. Think about a rich, dark green extra virgin olive oil pressed straight from the fruit. When you pour it, it should look thick, and it should leave a pleasant peppery tickle at the back of your throat. That peppery feeling is the absolute best indicator that the oil is fresh and packed with the natural compounds your body recognizes instantly. Think about a thick, heavy knob of golden grass-fed butter melting slowly over a warm plate. Think about a proper, heavy spoonful of full-fat Greek yogurt or traditional sour cream. Think about half of a perfectly ripe dark green avocado mashed up with a pinch of coarse sea salt. Even the natural heavy oils found in a small handful of raw almonds, walnuts, or macadamia nuts work perfectly as your delivery vehicle. Your body recognizes these natural, ancient fats the second they hit your tongue. It welcomes them in with open arms, and it allows them to carry that precious orange protector right across the gut barrier without any resistance. Write in the comments, what is your absolute favorite healthy fat to use? However, even with the brilliant addition of a high-quality fat, raw carrots still hold very tightly onto their internal nutrients. The body's internal stove needs a proper head start to do its job properly, especially as we get older and our natural digestion slows down. This is where the vital factor of heat comes into play. Applying gentle heat physically melts and breaks down those tough, stubborn plant walls we discussed earlier. Cooking carrots lightly does not destroy their nutritional value, which is a very common and highly damaging myth. People often think eating everything raw is always superior, but in this specific case, it does the exact opposite. Heat liberates the nutrients from their fibrous cages. It softens the internal matrix of the root, making the orange protector highly accessible. Combining gentle heat with a high-quality fat creates the absolute ultimate delivery system for your aging cells. You are essentially pre-digesting the tough, fibrous parts of the plant on your stove, so your stomach does not have to fight a losing battle later. When you pull a warm, slightly soft carrot out of the oven, coated in a shimmering layer of melted butter or olive oil, you are holding a perfectly designed package of highly absorbable nutrition. Let us look at exactly how to implement this right now in your daily routine. You do not need complex, time-consuming recipes or hours standing over a hot stove. If you genuinely love a grated carrot salad for lunch, never eat it dry. Toss it heavily in a rich, extra virgin olive oil dressing, squeeze a bit of fresh lemon juice over it, and add a heavy handful of crushed walnuts. The natural, heavy oils in the nuts provide the perfect fatty taxi, while the grating process physically breaks down the tough plant walls. If you prefer warm meals, make a thick, comforting carrot soup and finish it with a heavy swirl of double cream right before serving. The cream stops the soup from just passing through you and forces your body to absorb every single drop of the orange protector. We can expand these simple micro-examples into every single meal of your day to guarantee you are always protected. If you are making a warm breakfast, try grating a fresh carrot directly into your morning eggs. Cook the whole mixture slowly in a generous, thick knob of grass-fed butter. The natural fat from the bright yellow egg yolks, combined with the melting butter, creates a massive absorption boost that sets your energy levels up for the entire day. The heat softens the vegetable perfectly, and the fat acts as the ultimate transport vehicle. If you are packing a lunchbox for a long day at work or preparing a meal for a journey, stop putting dry, raw carrot sticks in small plastic bags. Instead, take 5 minutes the night before to pack leftover roasted carrots that have been heavily tossed in a rich olive oil dressing. Sprinkle them with a thick handful of raw pumpkin seeds. The seeds provide an excellent crunch, replacing the raw snap of the carrot while guaranteeing the nutrients actually enter your bloodstream. For a quick afternoon snack, if you really want that raw crunch while watching television, never eat the sticks bare. Dip them heavily into a small pot of full-fat sour cream, or mash up some avocado to use as a thick, rich dip. The crunch remains satisfying, but the thick fat guarantees you actually absorb the goodness instead of just generating expensive waste. When you start doing this consistently, pairing the heat and the fat, the link between your daily diet and your physical struggles becomes incredibly clear. Once the fatty taxi drops off the orange protector into your bloodstream, it travels straight to the surface of your skin. Here, it acts exactly like a deeply nourishing internal moisturizer. As we get older, especially during the cold winter months, the dry air from central heating pulls moisture directly out of our skin. We get cracking knuckles, dry elbows, and skin that feels like fragile, dry paper on our shins. The orange protector actively works from the inside out to stop the internal rusting that causes this premature aging and flakiness. It builds a highly resilient protective shield against daily damage from the harsh weather and the cold wind. No expensive chemical-filled face cream in the world can replicate the deep, lasting tissue hydration you get when your body is properly supplied from the inside out. When you absorb this nutrient properly, your skin stops feeling tight and itchy. It regains a natural, resilient bounce, and that dull, gray, exhausted look is replaced by a natural, healthy warmth. You stop fighting your skin from the outside and start nourishing it from the inside. Next, this powerful nutrient travels directly up to your eyes. In our modern world, we all spend countless hours staring at glaring computer screens, bright televisions, and mobile phones. This constant exposure causes a gritty, heavy, constantly tired feeling behind the eyelids by the end of the day. You might find yourself constantly rubbing your eyes or struggling to read the small print on medicine bottles without squinting. The orange protector physically builds a pair of natural, internal sunglasses for your eyes. It helps filter out that harsh, damaging blue light and actively relieves that heavy, burning strain. When your eyes are properly supplied with this fat-soluble nutrient, you will notice a profound difference in your daily comfort. It becomes much easier to focus on a book in the evening, and your eyes will not feel so incredibly exhausted and dry when you wake up in the morning. By unlocking these trapped nutrients with a simple spoonful of fat, you will feel much more vigorous. Your body finally receives the precise, high-quality tools it needs to support proper daily tissue repair and maintain sharp, clear focus throughout your entire day. You will also notice a massive, life-changing shift in your daily hunger levels and your cravings. Many people deeply fear that adding butter, cream, or olive oil to their vegetables will cause immediate weight gain. They stick to plain, dry vegetables to save calories, believing they're being disciplined. But here is the brilliant, undeniable truth about how your biology actually works. When you eat plain, raw carrots, your body absorbs almost no real nutrients. Because it did not get the vital compounds it desperately needed, your brain keeps the hunger switch flipped firmly on. You end up constantly grazing, opening the pantry door at 9 o'clock at night, and snacking endlessly because your cells are literally starving for real, usable nutrition. When you add a fatty taxi to your meal, your brain instantly registers the massive influx of the orange protector. It recognizes that the body is finally fully nourished. It immediately turns off your cravings and shuts down that nagging hunger signal. You feel deeply satisfied, grounded, and comfortably full for hours, simply because you allowed your body to absorb the food properly. You stop fighting your willpower and start working with your biology. To make this an effortless, automatic daily habit, you simply need to follow this one simple rule of thumb. Never eat an orange, red, or dark green vegetable bare. Always, without a single exception, pair it with a high-quality fat source. Try keeping a small, dedicated, dark glass bottle of high-quality extra virgin olive oil directly on your dining table, right next to your salt and pepper. Use it exclusively to dress your warm, cooked vegetables right before you pick up your fork to start eating. This completely removes the friction of having to remember it while you are busy cooking at the stove. It becomes an automatic, highly protective daily habit that guarantees you actually absorb the expensive food you paid for at the market. This brilliant, incredibly simple table oil trick works perfectly for a wide variety of other vital vegetables too. The exact same biological rule applies to bright red tomatoes, dark green spinach, and deep orange sweet potatoes. They all contain powerful, fat-soluble protectors that absolutely demand a fatty taxi to cross the gut wall. If you're eating out at a restaurant, you must be highly vigilant. Restaurants often serve you a side of plain, unseasoned, steamed vegetables, thinking they are offering a healthy option. Do not just sit there and eat them bare. Ask the waiter politely for a small side of real butter or a small jug of their best olive oil. Pour it directly over the hot vegetables right there at the table. The heat from the vegetables will melt the butter instantly. It takes exactly 3 seconds, but it completely transforms a useless, watery restaurant side dish into a highly potent dose of internal protection. Now, we absolutely must address the critical preparation mistake I mentioned at the very beginning of our time together. Even if you perfectly remember to use a good fat, and even if you use gentle heat, this one incredibly common error ruins absolutely everything before the food even hits your dinner plate. Most people take their fresh carrots from the fridge, take a sharp metal peeler, and aggressively strip the entire outer skin off. Then they take a large knife and chop the vegetable down into small, neat, thin coins. Finally, they drop all those tiny, exposed pieces into a massive pot of rapidly boiling water. This daily cooking routine is an absolute disaster for your nutrition. Tell me in the comments, do you normally peel your carrots before cooking? Let us break down exactly why this specific cooking method is so incredibly damaging to your health. Chopping the vegetable into tiny coins opens up hundreds of tiny little wounds in the flesh of the root. When you drop those wounded, exposed pieces into a pot of rapidly boiling water, the aggressive, violent bubbling action physically washes the loose nutrients straight out of the vegetable. The water acts as a solvent, pulling the goodness out of the open wounds. If you have ever boiled carrots and noticed the water turning a lovely bright shade of yellow or orange, you need to understand that is not just harmless color. That is your expensive, vital nutrition leaving the food entirely.
When the carrots finally go soft after 20 minutes of boiling, you take the heavy pot, carry it over to the sink, and pour all that brilliant, protective goodness straight down the drain. You are left eating a hollow, empty, watery shell that offers almost zero benefit to your body. You have effectively made a highly nutritious vegetable tea, poured the tea down the sink, and eaten the used, worthless tea leaves. The permanent solution to this common problem is incredibly simple, and it actually saves you a tremendous amount of time and effort in the kitchen. First, you must completely stop peeling your carrots. The outer skin is an essential, highly protective biological seal. It is designed by nature to keep the moisture and the vital nutrients locked safely inside the root during times of stress, and it does the exact same thing during the cooking process. Instead of aggressively peeling away the best part, just take a stiff vegetable brush and wash them thoroughly under cold running water for a few seconds to remove any surface dirt. Leave the protective skin entirely intact. Second, you must cook them entirely whole. Do not chop them into coins or small sticks before the heat touches them. Try roasting them on a flat tray or gently steaming the carrots whole in a dedicated steamer basket. When you roast a whole unpeeled carrot, the intact skin acts exactly like a miniature pressure cooker. It traps the natural steam inside the root, gently melting those tough plant walls we talked about earlier without letting a single drop of goodness escape into the air or the water. Only bring your sharp knife out after they are fully cooked, soft, and resting safely on your wooden cutting board. Slice them into thick, hearty chunks right before serving them on your plate. This simple, completely effortless change in your routine traps 100% of the goodness inside the vegetable where it rightfully belongs. This brings us to a highly important shopping tip that most people completely ignore when they walk into the supermarket. If you want to get the absolute maximum amount of this orange protector into your body, you need to stop buying those convenient bags of perfectly uniform wet baby carrots.
Those little perfectly smooth sticks are not actually babies at all. They are large, often broken or ugly carrots that have been aggressively whittled down and reshaped by heavy industrial machines in a factory. The factory physically strips away the entire outer protective layer of the root, which is exactly where the highest concentration of the orange protector naturally lives. Because they entirely lack their protective skin, these processed sticks dry out incredibly quickly.
They lose their nutritional value rapidly while sitting under the bright lights on the supermarket shelf. They often develop a dry, white, chalky blush on the outside, which is a clear visual sign of severe dehydration and nutrient loss. Always bypass the processed bags and buy large, whole, natural carrots. If you can find them at a local market with the large leafy green tops still attached, that is absolutely the best option available. The green tops prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that the root was pulled from the damp earth very recently, guaranteeing maximum freshness. When you bring them home, cut the green tops off so they do not drain moisture from the root. Store the whole carrots in the bottom crisper drawer of your fridge, wrapped lightly in a slightly damp kitchen towel. This simple storage trick mimics the damp earth they grew in, keeping them perfectly crisp, alive, and nutritionally potent until you are finally ready to cook them. Food is only genuinely useful to your aging body if your digestive system can actually absorb it and put it to work repairing your cells. Eating massive amounts of perfectly clean, healthy food means absolutely nothing if it just passes straight through you like water through a pipe. Stop eating bare, dry vegetables at your work desk in the name of false health. Stop aggressively peeling away the protective skin that nature provided. Stop pouring your hard-earned vital nutrients down the kitchen sink in a massive pot of aggressively boiling water. Start using gentle, slow heat to break down the tough plant walls. And most importantly, start giving your body the rich, natural fat it so desperately needs. Use that thick olive oil, that golden butter, and that heavy cream to transport that brilliant orange protector safely across your gut wall and directly into your bloodstream. When you provide the right transport, your body will reward you with hydrated skin, rested eyes, and a deep, lasting daily energy that no cup of coffee could ever provide. Once you truly master this simple fatty taxi concept, you will never look at a plate of food the exact same way again. You will finally stop fearing natural butter and olive oil, and you will start using them strategically as the ultimate delivery vehicles for your long-term health and vitality. If this deep dive into unlocking the hidden power of your daily food interested you, you will absolutely love this next topic: lemon peel frozen, why grating whole lemons is a game changer. Thank you for giving me your time today. Take great care of your body, remember to always dress your vegetables, and I'll see you in the next video. This information is strictly educational to support your daily vitality. Never change your doctor's medical treatment without their consent.